Lawmaker announces bid for Michigan Secretary of State, and former NASCAR driver Townley killed in Georgia shooting.
Later, Brendan will have your weather for the weekend, and Scott will have your sports update. Hello, I'm Megan Garcia.
And I'm Mitchell Reif, and this is Public Eye News. Earlier this morning in Lansing, Michigan, Representative Bo Lefebvre announced on social media that he will be running for Michigan Secretary in the next year. Reports of him saying, quote, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson's handling of the office is just unacceptable, end quote. He cited a backlog of people trying to set appointments over the past year due to the pandemic. Lefebvre represents the 108th District and is one of the chairmen of the House's Military, Veterans, and Homeland Security. Today in Lansing, Michigan, again, the MDHHS reminds the state about the dangers of RSV and how to keep their children safe. The respiratory virus usually peaks during the winter months. This year, however, RSV activity has been higher than expected through the summer and early fall. Each year in the U.S., this virus leads to about 2.1 million outpatients with about 177,000 hospitalizations. The virus is spreading through drops in the air after a cough or a sneeze, and especially this year, it's important to take precautions. For more information, visit cdc.gov/RSV. And with more news today in St. Cloud, Michigan, a former middle school teacher and coach has been sentenced to probation for sexually assaulting a female high school student. Daniel Fragut, a 32-year-old, pleaded guilty to third-degree criminal sexual conduct and was sentenced to 5 years of probation. The victim told her investigators about her sexual encounters, and they started when she was about 17 in August of 2018. Judge Chris also ordered the assaulting teacher to register as a predatory offender, attend sex offender treatment, and more.
If you're an avid social media user, you may have noticed that Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram were all down in places such as California, New York, and Europe around 11:45 Eastern Standard Time this morning. The company that oversees all three of these apps says they are unsure of what caused the worldwide outage. The president of Oakland University in Rochester Hills, Michigan, says that she will be donating $1 million to the school. Peskovitz says she is donating the lump sum of money to help create scholarships that will assist 16 to 20 students a year. She also hopes that it will encourage more students to attend the university who may not have considered it before. And good news out of Minnesota, as the last remaining fire closure has been lifted. Wildfires broke out in the Superior National Forest over the summer, but after recent rainfall and cooler conditions, forest officials say that they may not see any more smoke in the last few weeks and believe the fire is unlikely to spread further. And don't touch that dial, because after this break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
No invention has mobilized humanity more than the car. With the automobile, the entire world changed fundamentally. But how we got here is a story of amazing discoveries.
It was a huge step forward.
And unlikely surprises.
It's something that no one thought could be done.
Explore the unbelievable revolutions.
This changed our future.
Yeah. That led to mankind's ultimate freedom machine.
Tonight at 9.
Welcome back. And in recent news, yesterday in Athens, Georgia, a former NASCAR driver, John West Townley, age 31, was killed Saturday evening in a shooting in Georgia. Law enforcement, having spoken to the shooter, say the shooting appeared to be domestic violence related. Townley raced 8 seasons and made 186 starts across the NASCAR, Xfinity, and Truck Series, NASCAR's lower 2 national divisions. No charges have been filed, and the investigation continues.
Russia will be the first to film a movie in space. The country's space program is planning to send an actor and film director into orbit on the Russian Soyuz spacecraft on its way to the International Space Station. The crew will spend 12 days filming segments of a new movie titled Challenge. U.S. journalist Danny Fenster, who has spent more than 4 months in pretrial detention in military-ruled Myanmar, is being charged with a second criminal offense. Fenster, who is the managing editor of the online news and business magazine Frontier Myanmar, is being charged under the Unlawful Associations Act. Fenster was previously charged with sedition or spreading false information. Since the military's takeover in February, Fenster is one of about 100 journalists detained, one of a handful of foreign journalists who have been arrested, and the only one still in custody. Fenster's lawyer and colleagues have denied any wrongdoing on his part. The U.S. government and international media organizations have called for his release. And shouldering both pandemic troubles and a systemic lack of access to capital, hundreds of Hispanic-owned businesses are getting a much-needed $50 million boost. As part of our coverage during National Hispanic Heritage Month, Elise Preston explains why the financial help is hoping to grow legacies for generations to come.
Opening the doors to her Peruvian restaurant, Claudia's Kitchen, was a lifelong dream for Claudia Baroa.
I came from a poor family, but now I think having the restaurant too is just share my family recipes.
But sharing those dishes hasn't been easy. The family's New York City restaurant opened during the pandemic last summer.
The week that we opened, 2 restaurants closed on this block. So, we were super scared.
A 2020 Stanford University report found 86% of Latino-owned businesses experienced immediate negative effects of the pandemic, and they were disproportionately less likely to receive government help like PPP loans.
Why do you think that is?
I know particularly for the PPP, our bank was putting priority to bigger loans.
Claudia's got help from PepsiCo Foundation, which is investing $50 million into Hispanic-owned restaurants, bodegas, and butcher shops through its program, Juntos Crecemos. Together, we grow.
These are places where mothers and fathers earn their living but also raise their children. And so those legacies are lost when we do lose Hispanic businesses.
Some of the money will also go toward business development, like building websites and delivery apps.
A lot of Hispanic and Black businesses may not be represented on those platforms.
This is the dough sheeter.
Claudia's Kitchen bought a machine to speed up production of their award-winning empanadas, feeding their customers, community, and legacy. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
And crews worked through the day Sunday on the ocean and on the beach to clean up an oil spill off the Southern California coast. A suspected leak in an underwater pipeline spilled an estimated 126,000 gallons of heavy crude into the waters off of Orange County. Lori Perez is in Corona del Mar with the latest in the cleanup effort.
Well, it's very disfortunate.
Residents we spoke with say they feel helpless knowing a massive oil slick of nearly 13 square miles is polluting the waters off Orange County. The source, a broken pipeline connected to an oil platform, leaked almost 130,000 gallons of oil just 4 miles off the Newport Beach coast.
It's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. Why do we have to have these things out in the ocean? So close to the shore.
As darkened waves and black globs of tar have been coming in with the tide, health experts have been warning exposure to the toxic chemicals in petroleum can cause headaches, vomiting, and shortness of breath. Newport Beach has closed the ocean to swimming and surfing, though that didn't stop some from getting in. Likewise in Huntington Beach, stunning some neighbors like Todd Clark.
You could already see the oil on the water. So I was kind of surprised.
The offshore rig, called the Ellie, is operated by Beta Offshore, an affiliate of Amplify Energy, one of the largest oil producers in Southern California. Since the leak was revealed Saturday, Amplify crews working with state and local teams have been moving into place, spreading booms to contain the slick and using pressurized equipment to collect what they can. Environmental experts say the cleanup could take months.
We are fully committed to being out here until this incident is fully concluded.
The cause of the spill is still under investigation. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Michelle Steele has asked President Biden for a major disaster declaration here in Orange County. Lori Perez, CBS News, Corona del Mar.
And after this break, Brendan will have your weather report, and Scott will be back with your sports update. Stay tuned.
Absolutely a crazy project. This is our real shot. We don't want to screw it up.
We're building a stick in the sky.
Within a New York landmark.
You can see where the historic building sat.
This super tall skyscraper,
a couple 100 feet taller than the Empire State Building,
can only be as wide.
It has a very small footprint.
As a basketball court.
1,500 feet up in this small amount of area, a logistical nightmare.
Wednesday night at 8 on WNMU TV.
Hello and welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Brendan Ford and I will be your weather host for today. It was a very foggy weekend here in Marquette and that has carried into today with some slight fog and drizzle. Right now it is 60 degrees. Your winds are heading north at 7 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 30.08 and rising. Tonight it will be partly cloudy with a low of 52 degrees with your winds heading north at 6 miles per hour. Tomorrow we can expect partly cloudy still with a high of 66 and winds heading north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. Throughout the Upper Peninsula in Sault Ste. Marie it will be 69 degrees and cloudy, 68 degrees and cloudy in Manistee. In Escanaba, 68 degrees and cloudy as well. Menominee, 64 degrees and cloudy. 65 degrees and cloudy in Iron Mountain. In Ironwood, 58 degrees and cloudy. 63 degrees and cloudy in Houghton. And here in beautiful Marquette, it is 60 degrees and cloudy. Very cloudy in the UP. Throughout the next few days in Marquette, on Wednesday, it will be a high of 71 degrees, a low of 53 degrees, and partly cloudy. On Thursday, a high of 71, a low of 57, and mostly cloudy. And on Friday, a high of 68 degrees, a low of 58 degrees, and it will be cloudy. Now, here is Scott with your sports update.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. It was a great weekend for Wildcat sports. First up, the NMU sailing team won the Davis Cup this past weekend at the University of Iowa. Boats crewed by Henry Westland, McKenna Whiten, Brad Seaborg, and Jackie Dome won the respective divisions and brought home the team title for the Wildcats. This is the first regatta NMU has sailed in this year, and they are hoping to keep the winning streak alive when they head to the University of Illinois next weekend. For more information on the sailing team and their full regatta schedule this year, check them out on Instagram or through the NMU website. Tom Brady, legendary Patriots quarterback and future Hall of Famer, made his return to Gillette Stadium to play his former team, the New England Patriots. Brady threw the ball 45 times, but was unable to throw a touchdown in the 19-17 win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mac Jones, the rookie quarterback for New England, threw 40 passes and outdueled his predecessor, throwing for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Buccaneers improved to 3-1 on the season as they defend their Super Bowl victory. And finally today, Wayne State came up to the UP for a football game over the weekend, looking for their first win of the season. And if the game ended at halftime, they would have done just that. Up 19 at halftime against the Wildcats, the Warriors had the Wildcats on the ropes. But with a rally late in the fourth quarter, sparked by recovering a muffed kickoff, Drake Davis delivered a dime of a throw to Isaiah Pop for a touchdown and a successful 2-point conversion that tied the game at 19. The Wildcats defense then continued to dominate in the second half and forced Wayne State to punt the ball after just 3 plays. With just a minute left in the game, DJ Stewart ran the whole 50 yards for Northern's first head of the game, and after a successful extra point kick, the Wildcats defeated the Warriors 26-19. Well, Megan, that's all I have for sports, but I hear there's some other interesting things going on in the world.
There is. In London, a piece of the honey-loving bear Winnie the Pooh's history is up for sale. The bridge that based the film's tales written by A.A. Milne is up for auction through Summer Place Auctions, which have auctioned off items like 20 tons of the Berlin Wall. They are estimating that it will go for around £250,000, way beyond the 40 to 60,000 pound estimate placed on Tuesday's auction. And that looks like,
Looks like we have some time here, Megan. Were you at the homecoming game this past weekend?
Unfortunately, I was not able to make the game as I had family visiting, but I was able to participate in the parade.
Well, it seems like that's all the time we have here today for you on Public Eye News. On behalf of everyone down here at Channel 13, I'm Scott Minshaw.
And I'm Megan Tarcia.
Thank you for tuning in, and tune in tomorrow for another edition of Public Eye News.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.